Strong winds and heavy rains caused damage as well as a lot of power outages around the state.
In fact, wind gusts over 40 miles per hour brought tree limbs down on power lines and caused extensive damage to a home in Mount Vernon. Our Steve Roldan talked to a woman who was fast asleep in that home the moment that tree came crashing through the roof.
I get to wear this for a couple of days and then probably start physical therapy.
Jamie Williams is injured, shaken, and walking on crutches after what she calls one of the scariest nights of her life. You can see in these pictures the massive pine tree that came down in last night's storms and crashed into her home. The tree came in through the roof and pinned her boyfriend Alex Cates underneath.
I thought my boyfriend was being crushed to death.
Fearing for her boyfriend's life, she tried to free him but couldn't, while outside the storm ripped up more trees.
Stood up and looked at the bed and looked at the crib, and part of my roof was in the crib with my baby, and I turned around and looked at Alex, and there was a tree crushing him into the floor, and he was screaming at me to help me, oh my God, my arm, help me, and I couldn't do anything.
Firefighters were able to free him after working an hour in the heavy rain and strong winds. He was taken to the hospital with a broken tailbone, a broken elbow, and several other non-life-threatening injuries. Now you can see just how large one of the pine trees is that went crashing down on that mobile home during the height of the storm. We're told another tree went crashing down very close to the oil tank and another one very close to the couple's 10-month-old baby crib. So a lot of grateful people here in Mount Vernon. Less than 12 hours after the storms tore down the trees, friends and family are here cleaning up the mess and fixing the damage left behind by Mother Nature.
I'll never forget the view of turning around and seeing him pinned under a tree.
I'm just thankful I got a granddaughter and a son, and Jamie, you know, they're all still here.
All with quite a survival story to tell for many years. In Mount Vernon, Steve Roldan, News 13.
Cates is expected to be released from Central Maine Medical Center within the next couple of days.
Close call there. Certainly a frightening night. Well, at the height of the storm, more than 11,000 CMP customers were without power.
Central Maine Power, though, has made a lot of progress in getting the lights back on throughout the day today. News 13's Giovanna Bouchard is live with the latest on the outages. Giovanna?
Yeah, Kim, what I can tell you right now, they have made a lot of progress. As you mentioned, CMP says right now fewer than 1,000 customers are without power. Trucks have been leaving CMP headquarters all day trying to get people back online, and they are doing a good job of it. The work to get folks back online was not easy, though. Line crews say much of the damage came when trees broke off the top and then fell onto the lines. Crews spent the day sawing through branches, saying damage was widespread. Now, CMP says the calls for service started last night around 7 and continued throughout the day.
So we've trimmed a lot of our lines so the branches are away from our wires, but in this case they're just snapping and falling down. You know, they're beyond the area that we would normally trim.
And this time of year, the trees are full of leaves. So when those leaves get really heavy and wet, that's when they weigh down and just snap right there and fall onto those lines. That was a big issue, CMP says, in trying to get everyone back online from this storm. They hope to have everyone with power by tonight. Reporting live with the latest in Portland tonight, Giovanna Bouchard, News 13.
Yeah, great news for those folks still without power, Giovanna. Thanks.
All right, they're working it. Well, fish are dying in Lake Auburn.
Yeah, apparently low oxygen levels are creating a fish die-off right now, and the lake could lose its trout population.
Our Jana Barnello joins us now with more on how the fish kill will impact the way the lake is used. Jana?
Kim, Greg, most importantly, the fish die-off has not affected the drinking water in Lake Auburn. That's something the water company will have to monitor, though, because state biologists expect many more fish to die over the next month. They noticed the problem last week. Tests showed very low oxygen levels in parts of the lake, and biologists started finding dead trout. They say the weather conditions over the past year have created an algae bloom. The extra algae is dying off and sinking to the bottom of the lake where trout live, and that decomposing algae is suffocating the fish. Biologists say it won't get better until it gets colder in about a month, and by then most of the trout could die, which means the lake's future as a fishery is up in the air. It's a situation the local fishing industry is watching very closely.
Well, we're 100% dependent on fishing, and we cater to cold water species, trolling mainly, and Lake Auburn is phenomenal for it. It's in our backyard. It's what most of our fishermen go to, and so with something like this, it's going to be devastating for us.
Biologists will keep testing the water to see how widespread the fish kill becomes. There are salmon in the lake, but biologists don't expect the fish die-off to affect any other species except trout. Kim, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jana. Whooping cough continues to spread throughout Maine, and now a case is being confirmed at USM in Gorham. The student is now at home recovering and is expected to be back at school soon. Officials at the college, though, are warning students to be aware of the signs and symptoms and take precautions like washing your hands to help keep the disease from spreading. The Maine Attorney General's office is now officially charging a young girl in the death of a toddler in Fairfield.
10-year-old Kelly Murphy is now charged with reckless or criminally negligent manslaughter. Brooklyn Foss Greenaway of Clinton died back in July while under the care of a babysitter in Fairfield. No information on the cause of death of the baby being released just now. However, the baby's mother says a medication was found in her infant system, which was the same as the medication being taken by Kelly Murphy.
An Elliott man is under arrest tonight after an early morning manhunt that ended in Warren. This man, Paul Olson, is charged with raping and trying to kill his former girlfriend. Investigators say he broke into her home late Monday night, sexually assaulted the victim, and held her against her will until early this morning. Her 2 young children were in the home at the time. Police caught him at his grandmother's house in Warren after that manhunt this morning.
Well, a truly scary situation for 2 elderly women in Biddeford this afternoon. Take a look. One of those women lost control of the vehicle they were driving here, and this is the outcome. Their car came crashing down right through a barrier before dropping about 8 feet there. That car was removed a couple of hours ago. There's still no word on exactly what caused this to happen, but both women, we're happy to say, are expected to be okay. Oh, we have an update tonight on a bus crash in Hebron that happened yesterday. The driver of the car that crashed into the bus remains in serious condition right now. Police say the car, driven by Brandon Buffington, age 19, swerved over the center lane and then crashed into the front of the school bus on Route 119 on the Hebron-Paris line Tuesday afternoon. Students from Oxford Hills Middle and High Schools were on that bus. 8 were taken by ambulance to Stevens Memorial Hospital. Some others did go to the hospital as well with their parents. None of those students suffered life-threatening injuries.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast with Charlie DePresti.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Today turned out to be a very nice day. The rain moved out during the morning hours, and thank goodness that wind moved out as well. What a wild night. Let's take a look back at some of those wind gusts from last night. Up in Liberty, they had 49-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Matinicus Island, 46 miles per hour. Most towns gusting between 40 and 50 miles per hour is expected. 40 for Portland, Augusta, Sanford, 36 miles per hour. So there was a lot of damage, and the reason for that, we have the leaves on the trees. A few months from now, I think we'll laugh at 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts because the leaves will be gone. Looking back at today's forecast, though, of course, we had beautiful sunny skies by afternoon. In fact, just a few fair weather clouds. This one coming in from our Raymond Sky Cam. We're looking off to the west. That right there is Mount Washington, where, by the way, they're at 32 degrees, reporting a little bit of icing this afternoon up at the Mount Washington Observatory. We will have a little bit of icing in areas tonight. A frost advisory has been issued for inland areas, freeze warnings in the mountains. 65 for current temperature. The big story tonight will be that dew point temperature. Remember last night how mild and tropical it felt? That number was in the mid-60s last night. Tonight that dew point temperature is falling in the 40s. It's a good indication of how dry it is. That cooler, drier air is certainly filtering in out of Canada. Here's what's happening. There's a front offshore. This is the one that moved through last night with all the rain and the wind. There's another front to our northwest. This frontal boundary is back up in the northern Great Lakes, northern plains. That one will come and get us for the weekend. That should bring a few showers, especially late in the weekend on Sunday. This one looks like it's going to try to back in on us, sort of a unique weather pattern here where we're going to see this retrograde move from east to west, and the timing for that will be Friday. We will see Sunday increase in clouds that day, and there is the chance for a few showers, especially over eastern zones. Let's outline where that frost advisory is. This does not include the coastline. You head over interior York County, Cumberland County, Androscoggin, and Kennebec County. There, that frost advisory for you. This includes southern Franklin, Somerset County. Other areas in the mountains, freeze warnings have been issued there. So it's going to be a cool night with lows ranging from low 40s at the coast to some 30s inland. In fact, let's start Storm Tracker early in the morning tomorrow around 7 o'clock. Notice 40s here at the coast. A line running from Sebago Lake, Lewiston up to Augusta. This little corridor here, you head inland, 20, 30 miles. We're going to be in the 30s. North and west, there should be a few spots in the lower to mid 30s. Now a nice day tomorrow, a nice rebound in temps after a chilly start. Temps will make it back into low to mid 60s. Normal high for the state is 69 degrees. Notice the lack of clouds. Tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day. Remember that front that I said is going to back in on us? Well, we're watching it. There it is to our east. This is 7 o'clock Friday morning. We're starting with sun to increasing clouds. There still are a few question marks how far west this feature will come. My greatest threat for a shower here should be over toward Penobscot Bay area, mid-coast region, to eastern parts of the state. There is the slight chance this backs all the way in on us, so areas like Portland, Lewiston, we could even see a few showers by late on Friday. Regardless, I think it's sun to increasing clouds. This feature could keep a brief shower in the forecast for Saturday. However, I do not think it's a washout. We have a greater risk for a shower on Sunday, that with a cold front moving through late in the weekend. Highs tomorrow make it back into the 60s after a chilly start. We're going to warm it up pretty nicely as we head into Friday. Again, sun to increasing clouds. Chance for shower over eastern zones. Saturday, more of the same. Slight chance for shower, but a greater risk for shower on Sunday. Temps will be a little bit warmer heading into the weekend. Low 70s for highs. As we head into next week, temps will be a little bit cooler again with lows slipping into the 40s. So it's a little bit of an up and down forecast. But Greg and Kim, there are no big storms in the forecast. Thank goodness. Nothing like last night around here. How about that wind that was howling last night? Gusts over 40. Wasn't that wild out there with the trees on the leaves on the trees? Of course, that's why we had all the problems.
In the winter, there would have been, it could have just blown right through. But
exactly.
And it shouldn't be allowed to have a storm go through us and then stop and back up again.
I know.
It's not okay.
Yeah, very unique. And we'll watch that for Friday.
Well,
could be a few more showers.
Okay, but things look definitely calmer for the next
few
days.
Nice day tomorrow.
Thanks, Charlie.